We're going to take a look at this video that Rewind put out. It's called 5 Things NetherRealm Studios Must Improve About the Pro Circuit. And I have watched this, and I agree with everything that he said. Let's watch it and potentially discuss it together. Because
today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 things that NetherRealm Studios should change about their pro circuit, whether it be Mortal Kombat or Injustice. I have participated in NetherRealm Studios pro circuits for their Injustice and Mortal Kombat games since 2017, so I do have years of investment.
Rough Rose says NRS problem or Warner Bros problem. At this point, it's hard to say for sure like where all the blame lies, but we can definitely say it's both. It's an issue for both. Like, we can't say that this is a 100% Warner Bros problem, and it's probably not 100% NetherRealm problem either. But yeah, where he talks about a lot of stuff in this that, well, I'll give my 2 cents as well.
Throughout the years,
I will say whatever editor Rewind has, his editor did a great job with this video. By the way,
it has gotten worse. I'm going to be covering things I don't like and the things I do like, and what I hope they either revert to going forward or add to the circuit. The first thing I'm going to be covering is the prize pool distribution and how the pro circuit is funded overall. At this very moment, it just appears that NetherRealm Studios, the way they fund the circuit is they just contribute directly to the prize pools, and there's no additional ways to increase the prize pool. You know, whatever they decide is the amount that it is. The reason why I have a problem with that, and they should change that, is because it seems that it has only gotten worse. During the MKX days, they actually added downloadable content to the game using...
This is so true. Like, they had the Sub-Zero Blue Steel and like the Ermac skins and whatever that they said would contribute towards funding for the Pro Tour, and they had 3 seasons of ESL for Mortal Kombat X that I believe was like $100,000 for the first 2 and like $200,000 in the last one, at a time when like most fighting games didn't have money like this at all. So that was pretty crazy back in like 2015, 2016.
Because we just like skins in general, and they took a percentage of those earnings and then added it to the
ESL, that's the blue steel skin
prize pool, and it generated some of the most outrageous prize pools for MKX and Injustice 2 even. We're in
So these are like prize pool stuff they're showing, right? ESL Pro League Finals, Season 1, Season 2, 100K. Yeah, Season 3, 200K. You see Evo here had $61,000 because it had a $50,000 pot bonus plus the entrance. I actually got 3rd place at this tournament, and I made like about $10,000 Canadian for getting 3rd place at Evo that year, which is more than some of the previous Evo champs have been getting. I think now, because like they were getting some extra money from like Sony and stuff, like they would have like $30,000 prize pools for some of the games, but even that is, yeah, not as good. But then you'll see even like here, CEO, I think this had like a $10,000 prize pool pot bonus plus like the entrance stuff, combo breaker. Yeah, these were like 10K pot bonuses. And then when Injustice 2 came out, it was even better. It was even better when the first year Injustice 2 came out. The amount of money that was on the line was actually pretty insane at the time.
I feel like the prize pool should only be larger. The games are costing more money. The downloadable content that NetherRealm is adding to the game is only getting more expensive, and they're charging for every little thing, yet the players are seeing none of it, and the company is obviously seeing all the profits. You know, they're charging for fatalities now, which is insane work. At least if you're going to charge for fatalities, at least give the pro competition some of those earnings. That would be nice. You're not
would be nice.
Top 3 in.
So yeah, and this is the Final Kombat prize distribution. Now I will say for the amount of money that's in it, which is I believe $200,000 US, for the amount of money that's in it, I think the way they divvy up the funds between the 20 players that qualify, I think it's actually ideal. Like, first place gets 70K, so that's not even half, right? It's less than half, but it does allow for a good amount of people to get a good chunk of change. Like, even if you look at like the Capcom Pro Tour and stuff like that, like they have like insane discrepancies, right? With the way like first place will get like $1 million And then second place will get like 300K. Third place is like 150. Fourth place is going down to like 50. Like the range with those tournaments is absolutely insane. What's up, Tweety? Welcome says it's the perfect way they did it. Yeah. So this, it's pretty fair for the money that's there. It's just that at this point, there's just way too many other games that are getting so much more that we should be somewhat in that same league. Like Mortal Kombat sells better than these other fighting games do. Like, why is our prize pool just so much lower? 70K, 36K, 24K, 16K. Like if you're in top 4, like you're getting like, you know, a good amount of money there. 5th to 6th, you're still getting 10K. Like that's solid. Gur and Sonic got 10K. 7th, 8th, Tweety, you got 5K. I don't know if you got in your bank yet, but Tweety got 5K from that. Face got 5K, right? 3K, 2K, 1K. I think the prize distribution for this is actually amazing. It's just the amount of money that's actually up to be won is just not enough. Tweety says he did quickest esports payout ever. The quickest esports payout ever was back when I was getting paid in Evo, because you actually walked off the stage and got a check in your hand back in like 2015, 2017. Like I literally walked off the stage and they gave me a check and they just had me sign some shit, and then I got my check for, you know, $8,000 or $12,000 or whatever. Anyways,
Kombat, the entire circuit, whether you qualify for the World Finals or not, was not worth it. I think I walked away with probably less than $10,000 to show for the entire year of being a top 10 remote.
And then that's another thing. It's like Gur got $10,000 for getting 5th, but I'm almost certain. I'm like 90% sure that the $10,000 did not cover the expenses that Gur was paying out of pocket to attend all the stops on the Pro Tour.
Combat player in the world. Plus, it is very discouraging to watch every single fighting game competitor.
$2 million prize pool for Street Fighter.
EWC, $1 million pot there. You got Capcom Cup, $1 million pot there. You know, every single year. It seems like every other franchise isn't shy to give out big lump sums of money. And also, in year 1 of the Mortal Kombat 1 Pro competition, the prize pool was actually, when they announced it, it was a lower amount, and then randomly halfway through the year.
Isn't that crazy? It was originally announced at $100,000 prize pool for the finale. That was like, what's going on, man? What's going on with that? Imagine everyone just got half of what they even got for this. So then first place gets what, 35K? 35K first place
decided to
for a full Pro Tour season.
Like, we cannot be having these mid-season random announcements that change the trajectory of the whole event. There were players who probably didn't want to travel throughout the first half of the season.
The first season of the Pro Comp was abysmal.
Halfway through,
just in terms of planning, everything. It was just bad, man.
Some people probably want to start competing and wish they did in the beginning. The details have to be ironed out from the beginning. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of player turnover. Second thing is the late announcements of events. I remember season 1.
It was so poorly ran and
but
planned.
The Pro Tour didn't even get announced until like a month later into the game, a week before the very first stop on the Pro Tour, which was ECT 2023. If you weren't already registered for that event in advance, based off of a rumor that it was going to be the first stop, you pretty much were going to miss the very first event of the season. And that in that season alone, there were only 4 offline events. They got to get better at communication. That is probably, honestly, one of the biggest things that NRS has been known to be bad at, is the communication, which I'm not understanding of why it is so difficult to convey information to your audience.
I don't get it either, honestly. I really don't get it.
Millions of dollars, and you would hope as an audience member that the least we could get is some communication on when events are happening. Constant communication, though, not like one tweet every year or every few months, like constant communication. They got to do better on the announcements of anything. I feel like it shouldn't be up to the content creators to try to be the ones getting the audience caught up to speed, you know. Number 3 on the list is going to be how you qualify for the event, the point distribution, the format, basically. For season 1 and 2, the format had these weird little rules where Yeah, that benefited players who couldn't travel to everything, right? They had caps on how many events you can actually.
Yeah, I hated this, by the way. Like, I haven't traveled for stuff since MK11. Ever since MK1 came out, I didn't travel for anything. The closest thing I did to traveling was just going to the Last Chance Qualifier tournament last year because it was in Toronto, where I'm from. But it just really didn't make sense to, like, for me financially, just to travel to stuff. Like, it just, I didn't feel like it was worth it to me, you know? And like the fact that you can't even get the points for all the stuff you're going to because they're only counting the 2 highest. That's like the main reason Gerd didn't qualify initially. It's I hate that.
Out of all 10 events, if you
I hate that. Like he's spending time out of his
only
day to travel. He's spending the money to travel
towards your points,
you know,
your overall leaderboard score. I think that is L formatting. If you came out of your own pocket, or your team, your sponsor came out of their own pocket to send you to all these events and you did well at all of them, they should all count towards your leaderboard.
Facts.
I understand not wanting to give extra leverage to players who have a bigger wallet, I guess you could say. Still have to perform. You still have to deal with jet lag. You still have to deal with the long travel hours. You shouldn't put a handicap on players just because they can go to more events than certain players. I think the combatant and demigod event idea was pretty cool, but they should tweak it a bit in the sense of how many points are given for certain events, because going to a combatant event was virtually worthless if you didn't need the points super bad. You know, it was way more worth the money to go to a demigod event. And also Evo, anytime Evo was on a pro circuit, that event should just have a buttload of points. Like, it should be no question that event should have. This year it was categorized as a demigod event, so it actually had no more weight to it than any other demigod event on the tour, except for the exception that the first place winner auto qualifies.
That's another thing that's just so weird to me. Is like they decided, like, okay, we're gonna call this a combatant event, we're gonna call Evo and whatever other tournaments demigod events, but it's like, who's even coming up with this shit? Because it's like, okay, well then where's the Elder God event? Like, do something that's in line with like what's happening in the games, so that you can actually feel like it coincides, it's together. Like, here, you know, I'm Elder God, woohoo, I'm Elder God, let me attend some Elder God event or some shit. They could have just labeled Final Combat as an Elder God event. They could have labeled Evo as a God event or something. But yeah, Evo should be worth more. And yeah, sure, first place auto qualifies, but you should also be getting more points when you're in top 8 of Evo compared to like a top 8 of combo breaker or whatever, you know.
That's cool and all, but they should have also upped the points, because that event's always the hardest event of the season. You know, they should have been qualified as like an Elder God event or something along those lines. Evo should always have way more weight than any other event on the Pro Tour, in my opinion. Make that format benefit consistency. If you go to all 10 events and you get top 8, but you don't get...
See, this is Gur's results. Gur, I think this might have been his worst placement, like 13th place at Combo Breaker, but like this is like a 9th, but he got so many top 8s. Texas Showdown 4th, Gamescom 5th, Brussels 7th, CEO 4th, Blink Respawn 5th, Evo 7th. Like, this dude was going to everything and placing well at like almost every event, and didn't qualify because of that whole only your top 2 demigod and your top 2 combatants things count, which is just
for the event
ridiculous.
Like
versus fighting 5th,
the event,
dude. Gur was killing it. Final Combat even got 5th
player, in my opinion. If you go to all 10 events and you get 7th place at all of them, you don't win any of them. You have shown that you can show up every single time, be consistent, make top 8, leave with a medal, leave with some bread. You're a top 10 player. A great example of this is
Pierre?
Gur only qualified for Final Combat this year off of a complication with Y-Tex's visa, because he couldn't get his visa, so they gave the spot to the next in line, and that was Gur. And a well-deserved Gur, and congratulations on your 5th place at Final Combat. Guess what? All he had to show for it was $10,000 at Final Combat. He won $10,000 at Final Combat, and he was a free agent, so it was out of his pocket. Number 4 on the list is going to be the prestige of the world finale. man, they have to restore the prestige that the world finale is supposed to possess. This is supposed to be an event that showcases the best of the best.
Here's Mr. Weekass in the building. How you doing, Mr. Weekass?
The people that are watching this video, but EWC makes these players seem like celebrities. Everything, the production, the cameras, the setups. As far as it was at Final Kombat this year, the one I was at,
Final Kombat
it was ran so bad.
Was such a joke, man.
The fans are honestly the only good thing about this event outside of like hanging out with friends. The production, horrible. There were so many production errors on the Twitch side. The screen was freezing. You had players name swaps on the wrong players, on commentators. You had commentators that don't speak Spanish looking like they're speaking Spanish, not intentionally either. The infrastructure of the actual building we were in was failing. You had the roof down.
Oh my god, that's crazy. I didn't even know about that part.
Extremely hard outside. The venue was very hot. For you being a top 10 player in the world, I feel like you should be taken care of. I feel like that's bare minimum. Maybe I'm being entitled, you know, I don't know. But that's just how I feel. I feel like the best of the best should get the best of the best treatment. That's my opinion, especially since we're not even getting bagged out like that. The only people get bagged out is like top 3. Number 5 on the list, the final thing that NRS should change about their pro circuit going forward is the marketing of their competitive scene. They have gotten better over the years, you know, putting little things in the game that promote an event that's coming up. You know, Mortal Kombat 11, they actually had stages in the game. I think Evo had an Evo stage. That stuff is cool, but keep that energy going forward, you know. The involvement of the community manager, man, like Tyler Lansdowne, man, you my boy. I really rock with you, bro, but your involvement is almost non-existent when it comes to NRS games. You know,
it pretty much was non-existent for
every single
this game.
offline event. It wasn't until
like it really was just the combat cast, to be honest.
Finally started promoting like online tournaments that were happening. That stuff is cool, but they should keep that energy, and they should have kept doing it, man. Like keep promoting events, online events, offline events, constant. Like Final Kombat's promotion was god awful, bro. The promotion came from the players, you know, and we weren't even paid to do it. How about the people who are put in positions to be paid to promote and market the game, market the event? At Final Kombat this year, we as players did a whole bunch of media. There's a whole day dedicated to doing media.
Dude, this is so bad. They had a whole day to do media stuff so you can, like, you know, have some questions so that you can get to know the players and stuff like that. And it was all just like not shown because, well, it was shown and then they didn't have the audio working for it, and then they were like behind and having all these issues that they just didn't even show any of that stuff. They should have put it out somewhere. Like, why not at least put it on their, like, on the Mortal Kombat YouTube channel or something so you can still view that. It's so sad that it would just didn't matter at all.
Fell behind during the stream. They had to cut all the interviews and media out from the broadcast. So all those interviews we all did not get shown. And the only interviews that got shown were for Group A, and there was production issues during the freaking interviews. You couldn't even hear them during the interview on the stream. We didn't even get any of that media that we did sent to us personally so that we can post it on our social medias or anything. You know, I don't have a single picture. When I looked in the gallery, there's probably like 2 pictures of me in that thing. And that is insane work. That is actually insane. I at least want to remember that I was here. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be it for the video, guys. That is 5 things that I feel like NetherRealm Studios should improve on going forward with their franchise regarding their pro circuits for their games. As you saw, Sonic Fox, that fool finally snapped at Final Kombat this year and just said the production was god awful. I'm like, yes, you need to speak up. You're the face of the franchise. If you say nothing, no one cares. You know, nobody's going to care about Rewind and complaining. Sonic doesn't just complain to complain. Sonic's only going to complain when it really is that bad. So,
but yeah, you guys definitely subscribe to Rewind if you haven't already. This guy is definitely going to be hitting 100K at some point down the line. He's at 69.2K. So send him a sub if you guys haven't subbed to him already, because he gets some good content out there, and his editor does some great work.